PlayStation they had a successful event. One thing that Nintendo does right is they have these things called Nintendo Directs. They are short, sweet, cool little ways that they get across information that their communities they need to know. PlayStation decided that they were going to do the same thing. Now the name is kind of dumb. It's called State of Play, which is kind of a swing and a miss. I don't have any backup ideas. I just don't think State of Play is a very good name. However, the concept was fantastic. They were just like the Nintendo Directs. They were boom, boom, boom. They were just shooting out these announcements game after game. Some games got a little bit longer time as they, talked about them and gave a little bit more backstory. But for the most part, it was fairly well paced. They gave us more information about games that we've heard about before. They gave us release dates that we've been looking for and introduced us to games that we probably wouldn't have had the chance to get to know, which is just really awesome. And one great thing about it, another reason why this is getting the Apple of the Week, is while we are sad to see that Sony is not going to be a part of E3, they did promise us that they're going to have multiple state of plays throughout the year. So that is super exciting because, again, I loved this first one. Now, there are a few standouts that I do want to talk about, and I'm not going to get into everything, but I will say that after watching Sony's state of play, I walked away feeling like I have to get PlayStation VR. Now, I know that there's a lot of cost involved and there's so much that you have to gather to make it work, but holy crap. As gamers, we have been waiting for the killer app. We have been waiting for the games that are the God of Wars of VR. And I feel like we're going to get that with Blood and Truth. That is one game that just had me enthralled. I was on the edge of my seat watching intently the entire time. And I went back and watched it a few more times. You're essentially like James Bond. You're a spy. And you're sneaking around, you're doing investigations. The shooting doesn't look too bad either. I'm not quite sure how the movement works, but there's this one scene where he's like running on a girder and then he jumps off. And then there's another scene when he jumps through a window and blocks the glass from cutting him up. And so I think it's going to play okay. I know that the Move controllers, I'm pretty sure they have analog sticks, so it should be fine. But either way, that game looks incredible. The entire state of play started off with Iron Man VR. No Man's Sky. Man, this game has gone through so much. With a very muddled release, false hopes, big empty promises, and the game just didn't deliver when it first launched. They really have come at it with such fervence, and their post-launch support has been incredible. And now the game today is what we wanted at the beginning, and that's just phenomenal. One thing that I always thought looking at No Man's Sky was that this game would be perfect for VR. And they announced at State of Play that it is getting a free VR update for PlayStation users, and that is amazing. Again, this whole thing was like, Asa, you need to buy a VR. As far as other games that really stood out to me, and we did see a pretty cool announcement for Crash Team Racing. Looks like PlayStation users are going to get exclusive skins for Crash, Coco, and Cortex. They're going to be retro, so they're going to have that polygonal look, very old school. So if you Crash CTR fans, Crash Team Racing fans out there like myself, that's a huge callback. I love to see that. Another game that really stood out to me, this was an indie game that, again, I don't think it would have gotten to see this limelight, at E3 or G2C or anything like that. But Ready Set Heroes looks really, really cool. It's a dungeon crawler that, yes, has 4-player co-op, but it seems the big aspect, the big selling point of Ready Set Heroes is going to be isometric dungeon crawling. So you're going to have 2 teams, 2 players on each team, and you're going to be going through random yet identical dungeons. And at the end, after you've leveled up and you've pillaged and looted and you've gotten everything that you've needed, you're going to be able to duke it out and see who gets to, winner takes all kind of situation. So that was another game that just looked incredible. And then the last thing that I do want to talk about is Concrete Genie. That game just looks phenomenal. It's really exciting to see Sony kind of not revert back to an old self, but if you look at PlayStation 3, a lot of the standout titles, a lot of those second or first party titles were really risky. They were very artistic. Just thinking about Tokyo Jungle, for example, that game I don't think would would be commercially successful today. But it's cool to see Sony going back to that kind of motif and bringing out Concrete Genie. Of course, again, like I said, they brought announcements to games that are going to be coming out soon, like Days Gone, Mortal Kombat 11. So that stuff, again, was really cool. But congratulations again to Sony and PlayStation. You win the Apple of the Week, the best news story in entertainment news. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We appreciate it again. If you are new, please think about subscribing. If you want to connect with us, like we would love to connect with you, please go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, search Borderline Entertainment, and give us a like, a comment, a follow, subscribe, all of those different things. Just be a part of the community. We are growing and we love it. We love to connect with everybody online and seeing just the community flourish. So please consider being a part of the Borderline family today. And if you're watching on YouTube, again, please consider giving us a follow and a subscribe and hit that bell and all that stuff. And again, think about watching on Twitch so you can be a part of this conversation. But for Borderline Entertainment, I'm Mesa. Be well, Borderline family.